What if humans laid eggs instead of giving birth? This question comes from evolutionary biologist Dr. Sarah Mitchell, who asks, if humans had evolved to reproduce by laying eggs like birds or reptiles, with a gestation period that occurs outside the mother's body, how would this fundamental change reshape human society, family structures, and our entire understanding of parenthood? Let's imagine that starting tomorrow, every pregnant woman on Earth begins experiencing an irresistible urge to prepare a nest. Within 72 hours, instead of continuing their normal pregnancies, they lay large, translucent eggs roughly the size of footballs. These eggs have tough, leathery shells and contain developing human embryos that will hatch after exactly 9 months of external incubation. The immediate global reaction would be pure panic. Hospitals would be overwhelmed with women arriving to lay eggs. With no medical protocols for this unprecedented biological event, the eggs would need constant temperature regulation at precisely 37 degrees Celsius, requiring specialized incubation equipment that doesn't exist. Emergency manufacturing of human egg incubators would begin worldwide as governments realize that millions of future humans are developing in fragile shells outside their mothers' bodies. Within the first month, society would face a revolutionary change in the concept of pregnancy and parenthood. Women who lay eggs would experience immediate physical relief, no more morning sickness, back pain, or the physical strain of carrying a developing child. However, the psychological burden would shift dramatically. Instead of feeling the baby's movements inside their body, parents would anxiously monitor external eggs, constantly worried about temperature fluctuations, physical damage, or contamination. The most profound change would be in family dynamics. Egg laying would make parenthood a much more communal activity. Unlike internal pregnancy, which is exclusively the mother's biological process, external eggs could be cared for by anyone. Fathers, grandparents, siblings, and even close friends could take shifts monitoring and caring for the developing eggs. This would create stronger extended family bonds and revolutionize gender roles in childcare. But here's where it gets really interesting. Human eggs would be incredibly vulnerable compared to internal gestation. A dropped egg would be catastrophic. Power outages that disrupt incubation temperatures could be fatal to developing embryos. Natural disasters, accidents, or even minor mishaps could result in the loss of an entire generation. Society would need to develop elaborate protective systems and backup plans for egg safety. The economic implications would be staggering. The baby industry would explode overnight. Specialized egg care products, advanced incubation systems, temperature monitoring devices, and egg-safe transportation would become billion-dollar industries. Insurance companies would develop entirely new policies covering egg damage and incubation failures. The concept of maternity leave would expand to include both parents, as egg care would require constant vigilance. More surprisingly, human development would change dramatically. Babies who develop an external eggs would likely be more advanced at hatching than current newborns. Like birds, egg babies would need to be capable of breaking out of their shells, requiring stronger muscles and more developed motor skills. Human infants might emerge more physically capable and alert than babies born through traditional birth. The social implications would be revolutionary. Public spaces would need egg-safe areas. Restaurants would have incubation rooms. Airlines would develop climate-controlled cargo systems for traveling with eggs. Dating and marriage would include discussions about egg care compatibility. The phrase, "don't put all your eggs in one basket," would take on literal meaning as families carefully distribute their developing children across multiple secure locations. But after about a year of egg-laying humanity, scientists would make a startling discovery. The change wasn't evolutionary, it was artificially induced by a previously unknown symbiotic organism that had been dormant in human DNA for thousands of years. This organism, triggered by specific environmental stressors including climate change and pollution, was forcing humans to reproduce externally as a survival adaptation. Here's the twist that changes everything. The symbiotic organism wasn't trying to help humans adapt to environmental threats, it was preparing humanity for something far more significant. Analysis would reveal that the organism responds to specific cosmic radiation patterns that indicate an approaching asteroid impact or similar extinction-level event. The external egg development wasn't just a reproductive change, it was an evolutionary escape plan. Eggs could survive in conditions that would kill pregnant women. They could be transported, stored in protective environments, and even potentially launched into space if necessary. The organism was essentially turning human reproduction into a portable, survivable system designed to ensure species continuation during planetary catastrophes. Most remarkably, The eggs would prove to be far more resilient than anyone imagined. They could survive temperature extremes, radiation exposure, and even brief periods in space vacuum. The leathery shells weren't just protective, they were sophisticated life support systems engineered by millions of years of evolutionary preparation for exactly this kind of crisis. The final revelation would be that this organism had activated similar survival mechanisms in other species throughout Earth's history, always just before major extinction events. Humanity's sudden shift to egg-laying wasn't a random biological quirk, it was an ancient early warning system indicating that Earth was about to face its next great catastrophe. The day humans started laying eggs would mark not just a change in reproduction, but humanity's enrollment in an ancient biological survival program that had been quietly protecting life on Earth for millions of years, preparing species to survive disasters they couldn't even imagine were coming.